Hey NaturePeeps, today we are talking about the Galapagos Islands as a habitat, this time on NatureGuyX46 Presents. I know, I can already hear someone saying, but Nature Guy, the islands have more than one ecosystem in them. How can we possibly look at them as if they were just one large ecosystem? Truthfully, you're right, we can't. However, maybe this is a stepping stone for future videos. We'll see. Islands are interesting places, and oftentimes they are in the middle of a body of water away from other land masses. So, how does animals or plants reach these islands? Several ways, to be honest. There isn't one set mode of transportation. Coconuts, for example, float on the surface of the ocean, and other seeds also float on the ocean. Sometimes animals will float in on vegetation or they arrive on that vegetation or trees. Okay, so it depends. And some animals even arrive via the air. The tortoises are believed to have arrived from South America, either floating on the surface of vegetation or perhaps even on their own accord, and they would have arrived from South America. After millions of years, they had been shaped themselves into what we see today. Other animals arrived via the air, such as birds, insects, and spiders, and perhaps even by water. Such as the Galapagos penguin. It's no doubt that the famous iguana also arrived from the South American continent, and it's believed that birds brought the cactuses to the island, and then they too eventually took the form that we know today. Nature does shape life, and once life reached the islands, it took many generations for them to become the organisms that we see today. For instance, the island is home to the flightless cormorant, and for whatever reason, this cormorant eventually lost the ability to fly. Finches. There are an amazing number of finches on the islands, and they fill a variety of niches. So, where exactly are the Galapagos Islands? The Galapagos Islands are near the equator, but it's the oceans that shape the islands, and I really didn't tell you where they're at. So, the islands sit 600 miles off the Ecuadorian coast. In fact, they are part of that country. The Galapagos Islands are composed of 13 major islands and several smaller islands. The Galapagos Islands, as I've already said, sit near the equator. The Galapagos Islands sit in a location where two currents meet. A warm current, and keep in mind that they sit pretty close to the equator, so they are considered tropical. This warm air and the meeting of two currents produces a rich marine ecosystem that supports a mix of wildlife. It also creates tropical and temperate climates, depending upon where you're at. Many of the animals that live on the islands are endemic, meaning that they are found nowhere else in the world. The islands are home to over 600 native species, and that includes both plants and animals. And just because these islands are remote and isolated, they are still home to more than 850 species of introduced plants. And I'm assuming there's also introduced animals thrown into the mix as well. The Galapagos Islands are home to more endemic species than many other places on the Earth. The islands are home to 6 mammal species and several aquatic mammals that visit the islands. The Galapagos sea lions are the largest mammal that is native to the islands. The islands are also home to 2 species of bat. Being near the equator and having a cool ocean current has led to an interesting mix of species, including the Galapagos penguin, which I don't believe my penguin is a Galapagos penguin. There are 56 native bird species on the island, with 45 being endemic bird species and 4 endemic subspecies. The Darwin finch has evolved to feed on seeds, insects, ticks. I was right. The Darwin's finches have evolved to feed on seeds, insects, ticks, blood from seabirds, and even 2 finches who act as woodpeckers using spines to extract bugs from trees. The islands have a mix of ecosystems which house their own individual animals or plants. They are areas where the ocean has a sandy bottom, rocky shores, lagoons, coral reefs, areas that are very much like deserts, mountains, open ocean, and as far as the climate goes, the average temperature ranges from the high 80s to the mid 60s. And there are 2 seasons on the Galapagos Islands. The dry season ranges from July to December, and this tends to be your cooler season, and it also has the most blue skies. There may be a few midday showers though. From December to June, it is wet and warm, and there are daily rain showers and even cloudier skies. During the wet season, the water temperatures range from 65 degrees to 75 degrees, and during the dry season, temperatures are between 70 to 80 degrees. This is a brief look at the Galapagos Islands. Thanks for keeping it wild with me, Nature Peeps. See you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not. Give the video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment or a question. Remember to never give up on yourself and always keep learning. Live times are Tuesdays and Fridays at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 6 p.m. See you in the next one.